Recently I needed some dental work done. I needed 2 root canals. I had like half the tooth gone and I was in a lot of pain. So I decided to drive down to San Diego and cross the border on foot to go get my dental work done. So I just wanted to make this video to kind of show how I do it, because whenever I tell people that I go down there for dental work, they're always really intrigued. Basically, I'm going to show you guys the process from when I got off the freeway and parked and then walked across the border. So I have my little action cam going and I'll let some of that roll. I'm also going to have a little map up on the screen that shows the direct route for both going there and also the crossing point to come back. And I'll put in a bookmark in the chapters. I've been there before going by car, but this was actually my first time crossing the border on foot. So I was kind of like, all right, where am I gonna go to come back now? Because none of the other videos really showed that. All right, so how and why I go to the dentist in Mexico. Obviously the why, prices. They're so low. The root canals I got quoted for here in Vegas out of pocket was like $1,500. And I'm just, you know, why would I do that if I know I can go to Tijuana and get it done for like way less than that? My price ended up being about $315 per tooth, and that's going to be on the low end. I would say you can expect about $300 to $600 would be, I think, a general price range for a root canal down in TJ. And that's not including the crown. That's just with the temporary filling that he did. But he did put in a fiber post as well, a fiberglass post. Somebody I know was telling me recently, even with insurance here, he was still gonna have to pay like $800 out of pocket for his root canal. So, you know, it's stuff like that that I'm just like, well, I'm glad that I do it the way I do it, because I just don't even want to participate in a freaking, you know, broken system. And I've also been to the dentist multiple times back in Puerto Vallarta from my days living down there as a tourist. But I will say those were mostly just fillings, like little stuff, nothing like root canals or anything. I think the quality of care in TJ is on another level for sure. Definitely seems to just have a very established dental and medical culture. And wherever somebody is, even if I lived on like the East Coast or something, you know, all I would have to do is basically hop a flight to San Diego and then, you know, take the trolley or an Uber to this border crossing. Okay, now where I parked was called LAZ parking, and it's pretty much right off the exit there to the right. It was $11, and I was basically in Tijuana for about 4 hours. From some of the reviews I read, people racked up, you know, like $70, $80 of parking rates just for like a weekend trip. So if you're planning on being there more than just a day, yeah, I don't know, you might want to try to find another option.
Como chingado, no puedo hacer 4 años.
Unos cholones vienen de acá.
noise there. The airport for Tijuana is actually pretty close to the border on the other side there, so that's why you hear that.
Yeah. But the units are great. And those guys.
So here's where we're gonna enter the official port of entry here. I turned off the camera because they had, it's a secure facility. They have a no camera sign, so I respect that. But basically you're just gonna show your passport and then you're gonna get it stamped. And then they asked how many days I would be there, and I was like, it'll be something like that, pretty chill. And then you just keep going to the right from there, and then you put your bag on a metal detector, kind of like going through the airport. And then from there, you're just pretty much gonna hit the walkway and be into Tijuana.
Chicos todos, ¿verdad? En el bus stop, sí, ajá.
So when you come out of the ramp, the walkway there into Mexico, there'll be a lot of taxis there. I chose to get an InDrive, which is sort of an alternative to Uber. In order to get my driver to pick me up, I kind of had to leave that general area just a little bit. I don't know, maybe he just wasn't trying to deal with it with all the commotion. But yeah, so anyway, it's pretty much that simple. And then from there, I got dropped off at my dentist.
A ver. Atrás.
Now, within the scope of this video, I'm mostly just wanting to talk about how and why I go to Tijuana for dental work. I didn't necessarily want to shout out my dentist specifically just because it is a bit more of a local focused dentist. They don't have an English speaking reception. No matter what somebody, what dental clinic somebody chooses to go with, I just wanted to show this process of how I get there. So it was pretty much the same process. I used an InDrive to get from the dentist back to the border crossing, and I'll put up here on Google Maps the exact location where I got dropped off, and then kind of try to show with the arrow cursor the walkway that goes into the crossing. Unfortunately, my little camera battery died, but I still wanted to at least put this in there because it's something that I would have liked to have had, just to know where that crossing is. Okay, so this little location pin is right where I got dropped off, and you can see there's a little monument icon there on Google Maps that says Ped East. And then from there, here's the route that I took up to the actual border gate. and it's kind of like this covered walkway area. And then just to kind of show where that is in relation to where you come into Tijuana, here's that original Farmacia Roma from the walkway where we get into TJ. And also there's a pedestrian east crossing and a ped west crossing. I did the pedestrian east one. I'm not sure. I had read somewhere that the ped west crossing has certain hours or maybe closed after a certain time in the day. So I just went with this one. And yeah, there was a long line of people, like migrant people standing there. So when I first got out of the car, I'm like, man, what is this line? Like, no way this is the line to get back to the US. But after I kind of assessed the situation, I'm like, dang, yeah, this looks more like just a migrant line. So yeah, I just kind of walked past all of them and just went up, and it was basically only a 5-minute wait from there to get to the gate where you just flash your passport and then just walk on in. And then from there, it's pretty much just like airport security. They're just gonna scan your passport, ask you if you have anything to declare, and then you just put your bag through a metal detector. All right, so after the procedure, luckily before I didn't have infections, so I was relatively pain-free. I think my dentist did a great job. I know he numbed the nerve directly, and I think that helped a lot. But yeah, not having infection probably made my recovery really, really quick, because literally 1 hour later, I'm back crossing, an international border, and I didn't, have a swollen face or look like I just had 2 root canals done. So that was pretty cool. All right, if you guys are still here at the end, thank you so much for checking out this video. Until next time, take care. Thank you guys.